Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Jose here, welcoming you to another episode of Amazing Worlds, where today I am going to be reviewing Moonshine by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso, the team that brought you the amazing 100 Bullets. And if you haven't done so, please check out my review on that fantastic series. As usual, links in the description below. So here I've got the collected trade paperback 5-volume edition, which came with a special print signed by Brian Azzarello, another Brian Azzarello signature for my collection that I might hang up somewhere in my wall of signatures, sketches, whatever. So, what have we got here is a kind of quasi-historical fiction story, because it is set during Prohibition era and it features real historical figures such as Eliot Ness, him of the Untouchables, Joe Masseria, who was one of the mafia bosses back during Prohibition era, and Charles Lucky Luciano sort of in the background there. Now, the premise of the story is Joe Masseria discovers that there is this gentleman down in Appalachia who brews like really good moonshine, hence the title of the collection, Moonshine, and he wants to get him to work for him and distribute that moonshine in New York, make lots of money. So he sends down one of his mafia honchos to go and talk this gentleman into providing the moonshine. Gentleman says no. Obviously, you're dealing with the mafia. They don't like no for an answer. Things get hairy, literally. Now, what completely passed me by is that Moonshine, the title Moonshine, is a double entendre, because moonshine on the werewolf, hey? Because here, big mix of stuff going on. So you've got the mafia story. Around that, you got a bit of Southern Gothic horror thrown in for good measure. Why not? Plus werewolves, plus a bit of ritualistic voodoo, black magic. By black magic, I mean magic by black people from the south of the United States back in the era. So there's a lot of things going on there. And unfortunately, I have to say that it is a good idea that could have done with a better execution, because in only 5 volumes, there's a lot of things going on, right? We've got the mafia, the magic, the werewolves, Eliot Ness, the background to Lucky Luciano becoming the capo di tutti capi in New York. We also have what triggered the Castellamarese war between the crime families in New York, all that stuff. So to get the right balance, you need space for that story to grow. Throw in a couple of shoehorned love interest stories, and there's not enough space for everything to be given the right time to mature and to develop the story. So I wish this had been a longer series. And I'm a little bit disappointed because Image, this was published through Image. Image is a creator-owned publisher, which means they're not like DC or Marvel, where they pay the writer or the artist by the page or by the script. Here, Azzarello and Risso own the story, so they can do whatever they want. They can spend however much time they want. It is the comic they wanted to write and draw, because it's creator-owned. You're not being commissioned to write a particular story. You pitch your story, they like it, you go ahead and write it. And sort of the story meanders. So we follow this killer, Lou Pirlo, handsome Lou, right? And so he goes down south, things don't go as planned, and then for a while, he just gets shipped off to Cleveland. For some reason, it's like the story sort of is the tension between the mafia bosses in New York and these Moonshine brewer bootlegger in Virginia, and so why do we send our main character to Cleveland for a bet over there? I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but it's kind of just so that we can get another historical figure, Elliot Ness, and then bring him to New York, but it doesn't quite work. And then, while he's there in the South, he develops a bit of a romantic relationship with one of the daughters of Hiram Holt, the Moonshine bootlegger. But he also develops a kind of relationship with a black lady who doesn't like that. That's really like all of a sudden you turn the page and go, oh, there's a love interest here. Why? Where did that come from? Why is this black magic woman, great song by the way, interested emotionally in Lou? Why is that the case? So the story doesn't seem to breathe. This kind of jumps and it doesn't flow as well as it could. As an aside, something that caught my attention, I could be wrong about, is that obviously in this day and age, I mean, in this story, you're trying to represent attitudes and the societal conflict of the 30s, right? So I'm not going to drop the N word here, but I don't know whether in the story Azzarello couldn't bring himself to use the N word in Moonshine, and then he uses a different word, which I'm going to write here, which I've never seen before, ever. And then I asked my wife whether this is something that in the past was used to refer to black people in the past or no, is it derogatory? No, but she had never heard of it either. But then obviously, my wife is British, she's not American, so I don't know. So, but anyway, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. It just caught my attention. A small detail. I mean, the art, I actually enjoyed it better than in 100 Bullets. I thought in 100 Bullets it was a little bit cartoonish. Here it's a bit more noir. It's a bit more serious. It sort of fits the story quite well. But at times it kind of lacked on detail. I think people are divided out there. I think I enjoyed it. It fitted the story. The color palette was a bit harsh, but again, it sort of fits the story. But I think it could have been better. I mean, this amazing cover for Volume 1 is not indicative of what you're going to get in the inside tomes. Probably something a bit more like this. So, all in all, I was a little bit disappointed here. I think the story had great potential. It was written over a protracted period of time, and considering that this is the story that you chose to write, develop it all the way. I don't know whether Azzarello got sidetracked with other projects, which is kind of what tends to happen with these Image comics. I've got quite a few Image comics collections on the go that get sort of stopped because they don't pay. They don't pay for the creators. It's what they do for the love of the art, but what pays them is working for Marvel or DC. So these stories tend to get shunted to the side. They go back to the regular paying job, and then when they got a spare time or they got a break, they come back to work on the Image comics. So that's why I waited until the story was completed to be able to read it in one single go. I read it over the space of a week. I thought it was an interesting premise. I thought it was an interesting idea. It was not fantastically well executed. And maybe the writing was a bit subpar for Azzarello. I mean, the characterization of the mafia guys is really tropey and is really... I mean, come on. One of the killers is called Fat Tony. Like, I'm not kidding. Fat Tony, all we need is Big Little Mickey or Little Big Mickey, and then the cast will be complete, right? So I think it was okay. I didn't hate it. I'm not disappointed. But I think it missed the mark, and it could have been a much better story. But anyway, this is it. This is my review of Moonshine by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso. As usual, please like, subscribe, comment. Fundamentally comment. Let me know what you think. Have I put you off picking this up? Have I intrigued you enough to pick it up? Because what I'm hoping is that my opinions don't put anyone off. If you like the premise, the idea, mafia, werewolves, magic, then something totally different from what you may be used to. So give it a go, give it a try. Maybe you really enjoy it. I missed something and you're going to prove me wrong. I'm all up for it. But until next time, take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.